Hi everyone. In this session, we will be discussing ICSE Grade 10 Computer Applications Array-based programs. Array programs are for searching, sorting, and regular array manipulation. In this session, we will be discussing linear search-based program. What are arrays? An array is an ordered collection of items of the same data type, and each individual element of the array can be accessed by an index. The way to declare an array is the data type int, marks will be the name of the array, and the square bracket denotes this will be an array of integers. Okay, here we are declaring and initializing an array called marks with 5 values. The right hand side curly braces are used for initializing. This means marks will be an array. The length of the array will be 5. That is, there are 5 elements in this array and they are stored in the memory, okay, with an index for each element. So the starting index is 0, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. So if the length is 5, the last valid index will be 4 and the first valid index is 0. If we want to access individual element of this array, we can say marks, which is the name of the array, and in square bracket, we give the index. In this case, we are asking for marks square bracket 3. So the output will be 24. If we say marks square bracket 5, which is beyond the last index is 4, it will give a runtime exception. Similarly, any number below 0, -1, -2 will give a runtime exception. Okay, so now with this quick overview, let us try solving some programs based on arrays, where we are going to try linear search with one array with numbers first. Then we'll do a linear search with one array but string, and then linear search with multiple arrays. Okay, so let's try this first. So the first program is saying, write a program to accept 5 numbers from the user, store it in a one-dimensional array. Accept an input number from the user and search for the number in the array. If found, print search successful along with the position of that number, else print search unsuccessful. So example, if we had entered 4, 50, 27, 42, and 60, and the user wanted to search for 42, in this case, what we do in a linear search is we go index by index. So we compare the first one, 4, are you 42, 50, 27? No, keep going till you find the number. So here in this case at index 3, we will find 42. So we will say search is successful, element found at index 3. Similarly, if the input array was as above, but the search element was 48, we will go on searching till the end of the array because we do not find a match. And at the end, we will print search unsuccessful. Let's see how we write this in a program. So here we make a new class and there is no, and these programs come for 15 marks in section 2. So I'll just call it P1. Open this. Okay, and get it to the side. Fine. So anytime we want to take input from the user, we will define import java.util.scanner followed by class P1 in this case. And in the class, the code that we write has to be defined in a method. So we will just write public static void linear search as the method. Fine. A method with no input parameters followed by a curly brace. Here we cannot take the array as a parameter because it has been told clearly that the program should accept 5 numbers only from the user. So whenever they give you the size of the array, make sure you declare the array and accept the elements using scanner. So first thing is we have to make the scanner object. Followed by declaring an array to accept 5 numbers. So that is int, we can call the array A, and a square bracket to indicate A will be an array of integers and always the size is right. Remember that the size has to be specified on the right side. It is similar to how we declare objects. Okay, so the way we have declared scanner SC is equal to something new. Here similar lines, int A square bracket is equal to new. It's an int here, so it will be the int data type here. And here in square brackets, we define the size of the array. Okay. Another thing that we have to take from the user is the number that we want to search, so that we can call as a target, int target, which we will take from the user. Right? So now let's take the inputs. We'll first accept the array input. Now the array, we have to accept more than one number. You can see here we have to accept 5 numbers. So the way to do that is using a loop, and this is a fairly standard loop. Every time you have to accept an array, the loop for accepting will be standard. Okay, accept array input from the user. So we write system.out.println, enter array elements. Anytime we want an input, it is better to give a prompt so that the user knows what has to be input. Now, the first element of the array will be index 0. The last index is less than the length of the array. So you have to write here less than the length of the array, and I plus plus, because we want to fill up every element in the array. And here curly braces are not required because we have to write only one statement. We have to write a square bracket I equals sc dot next int. Now you have to remember this. The equal operator is a right to left operator. That means it will execute this part, accept a number from the user and assign it to a of 0, then 1, 2, so on. Fine. Next thing, we have to accept a search number from the user. Do note, comments are not mandatory when you write the theory paper, but if you write 1 or 2 comments, it helps and it shows that you are aware of what you're doing. So here again, we will write system.out.println, enter search number. And this time it's a single number that we have to search. So we will just write target equals sc.next int. We are searching for a number. The array is also of numbers. So both will be next int. Fine. Now, we have to search for a particular number and we have to, what is the output? Any program has input, processing and output. The output in this program is the position of the number along with a message, successful or not successful. So what we do, we define, okay, that the output is going to be the position, which we will call as index is equal to -1 to begin with. Why is it -1? Because initially we will assume that we have not found what the user is asking for. Valid index starts from 0. So we will say the index right now is -1. Now we have to search the entire array using linear search. Linear search is the simplest algorithm where it says just start at index 0, compare, have you found, is there a match? If not, move on to index 1 and so on till you find a match or you reach the end of the array. So the loop remains the same. We have to again find from index 0. So for int I is 0, I less than till the last element of the array, I plus plus. And now in this case, we will need curly braces because we have to write multiple statements here. So we will write if, okay, if a square bracket I, that is the element at the current position, if it equals, remember is a double equal to, if it equals to the target that the user is looking for, okay, curly braces, then we say that the index of that element is I. The current value of this I will be populated in index and we can break out of the loop. Okay, why? Because we have found the element and there is no point in continuing till the end of the array. Right? After the loop, that is after we have checked every element or we have come out of the loop due to a break, we will check that if the value of index is not, or if it is equal to -1, means we started with -1, and if the value is still -1, then what is the meaning of that? The meaning is we did not find the element and we will write what do they want as the output. They want search unsuccessful as the output. Right? Otherwise, the index will have some value other than -1 and that means we found the element. So we will say system.out.println. The way they want is search successful. Okay. Comma, element found at index. Now this is the text I have to join it with the variable index, which will hold the position of my array. And that's it. That is the linear search program. So I will close the method and I will close the class. So let me just get it a little aligned so that it looks fine. So that is the program of the linear search. 3 parts in any program: input, processing, output. The input part is we are taking the array elements in a loop because more than one. We are taking the search number from the user. Processing is we are searching for the element with all the elements of the array, and hence we have a loop. And finally, the output, we decide based on the value of the index whether the search was successful or the search was unsuccessful. Okay, so here I'll just, this is fine. Let me try and compile. Okay, it doesn't accept the space and we compile it. So class has been compiled. Okay, now for the first program, I will just try and show you the execution, how this works. So you can visualize what is happening. If you understood the program and you do not want to see this visualization, it is fine. You can skip ahead to the next program. What we are going to do is, I'm going to put here a breakpoint. This is known as a breakpoint. I just clicked where the line number was displayed, and this has set up a breakpoint for me. Fine. When I'm running this program, the program ran and it stopped at my breakpoint. Okay. This is just for us to see. We can just check how the program executes. Okay. This is not required for your theory. This is only for your understanding if you need to. So now I have to say my program has stopped here. I will put a step. This means that line got executed, scanner SC, and what happened? One SC object got created. It's fine. Again, I say step. When I say step, the line which is highlighted in green will be executed. So I say step, and you can see that particular line got executed. Int A is equal to an object reference. If I click on this box here, it will show me that the array A has 5 elements in it. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 index will be from 0 to 4. Length of the array is 5. And the elements are, initially, they are all 0. Okay. And I close this now. So we can now step into the next thing. So we step into the next thing and it says enter the array elements. It executed this line 10, moved on to the next, and it is asking here to step. The next thing will be the for loop I is equal to 0. And now it is asking for me to enter the number. If I execute this, it will say, okay, enter a number. I will enter a number, say 42. Okay. So first number I've entered, it has gone back to the top of the loop. If you see the array at this point of time, you can see 42 has been assigned to index 0. Okay. So we can continue like this. I is 0 right now. Now it should do I plus plus. So I will be 1. And because 1 is less than 5, it will now prompt me for the next number. So it has stopped and I can enter a number, say 25. Fine. We'll just check the array once again and you can clearly see 25 has been assigned to index 1 because I was 1 here. Okay, so now I'll just forward this and go on entering the numbers. 32, 6, and say 28. Okay, and now the loop should stop because 5 elements have been entered. Value of I reached 5, which is greater than the length. Next thing it is asking us to do is enter the search number. So I will quickly take that, enter a search number, and I want to search for 6. Fine. So now we have a target which we want to search 6. We have an array which has these 5 elements in it. Okay. The next step for linear search is again to do a loop. So we will say again, we come to this loop. It made index as -1 initially. Target is 6. We have the array element, right? So now we start the loop again. So in which case I will be 0 first and it will check if A of I equals to target. A of I we know from here. Okay. A of 0 is 42. Our target is 6. So in this case, it will not match and it will just go to the next thing, which is I of 1. Okay, it will be I1. It will go on doing this. Okay, so if we step into I will become 2. 2 also is not 6. 6 is at index 3. So we'll see here, it will go up. I shall become 3. Okay, if you want, we can confirm. At index 3, 6 is present and that is our search element here. So we say, okay, step. And now it matches. Okay, A of 3 is equal to the target, which is 6, which is matching. So the index value, which is -1 in this case, will change to I, which is 3. Okay, and then we do a break, which means come out of the loop. Outside the loop, it will check if index is -1, then it will print unsuccessful. In our case, we can see that the index is 3. So we'll step over and it will go to the else part and it will print search successful element found at index 3. And that completes the program. Let us now look at another example of linear search, this time an array of strings. This is from one of the past board papers or a specimen paper which says define a class to accept the name of 10 students in an array and check for the existence of the given name in the array using linear search. If found, print the position of the name. If not, print appropriate message. Second part is also print the names which begin with the word SRI. Okay, so let's get coding. We start a new class and here we'll just call it P2 thing. Start with import java.util.scanner. Fine. Let's increase this a little bit. Class name is P2 and we have to write a method. Okay, you cannot write code without writing a method. So we will call this public static void. Again, you can just call it linear search. Okay. The first thing is to define the scanner. Followed by, now they want an array of 10 student names. Now names will not be numbers, they won't be int, they will be a string. So the way to define the array is similar to the way you are doing the scanner. So I will say string, names is the name of the array and because it's an array, it will have a square bracket. Size is right. Okay, size of anything should be right. So remember that 10 you will specify on the right hand side. You will again say new and because it is going to be of type string, you will say new string square bracket 10. For arrays, we use square bracket 10. Okay. Then we will ask for these 10 names from the user. So accept array names from the user. So to accept the array names from the user, we will give a prompt. Followed by a loop to accept because we have to accept 10 names and not just a single name. So the starting index will be 0. The last will be less than the names.length. Names.length will be 10. Index will be from 0 to 9. Each element in the thing. We don't need curly braces because it's going to be only one line. So we will say name square bracket I is equal to sc.next because we are accepting a string. Fine. We next need to ask the user for the accept the search name from the user. Okay, so again we prompt system.out.println, enter search name, and it will be a string this time. So we say string target equals sc.next. Fine. What do we need to find? The position of this search name. So the output is a position. So we will say int index is initially as -1. That means we did not find the element so far. Then we have to match. A linear search is to match with each and every element in the array. So we will write a for loop again. Int I is 0. I should be less than names.length till the last element I plus plus. And we can put curly brackets here. And we are writing now, if names square bracket I, that is the name at this current position. if it equals, okay, for string comparison, remember we do not use double equal to. Very simple. For everything else in your portion syllabus, you will be using double equal to. Only for string comparison, you will be using the dot equals. So we will say if names I dot equals what? The target that the user is looking for. Okay, close the bracket. Then we say index is equal to I, the current I. Okay, index equals I. And we break from the loop because we are finding the first occurrence of that particular element. So that ends the if, and then this ends the for. So now we have gone through the entire array, or we have come out of the array when we found an element. So we have to write here if index equals -1. Okay, that means index was -1 in the beginning. After the loop also it is -1. That means we did not find the element. So we write system.out.println search unsuccessful. Fine. Else index is not -1. That means we found it somewhere. So we write system.out.println search successful element found at index is string now plus the index variable, which will be outside of the double quotes. Okay, that completes one part of the program. They are mentioned here now. Also print names which begins with the word SRI. We have to check the entire array again. So we say int I is 0, I less than names dot length, I plus plus, okay, curly bracket. If that particular name, names dot I dot begins with, okay, the string library has a lot of functions which we can use. One of the function is starts with. Okay, so if the name starts with capital SRI, okay, then we will print out that name. The names square bracket. Okay, and that will finish this if and the for. And that completes the method followed by the program. You can compile and check class compiled without any. Okay, if you want to run this program and just check. Okay, so now let's try running this program. So we say void. It says enter 10 names. We can just quickly enter 10 names. So we say Shri Ram and okay, so we have entered 10 names and now it is asking us for a search name. So let us enter as the search name. So it says search was successful, element found at index 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the names begin with SRIR, Shriram and Srilek. And that completes this particular program. Now let us look at the third program, which is a linear search program, but with two corresponding arrays. Here they have said we have to write a program to accept the name of 10 cities in one single dimensional array and their STD code in another single dimensional integer array. Now you have to remember these two arrays are known as corresponding arrays. That means the order of the elements in these two arrays are corresponding to each other. I'll show you with the example. Following that, we have to search the name of the city. If found, we have to display that the search was successful. And instead of just printing the position, we have to print the name of the city along with the STD code. Okay, so when we code, we'll see how this is done. So we'll expand this a bit. We'll start with new class, which is program 3 of linear search. Okay, Control A, delete. First line is import java.util.scanner. We start with the class, which is program 3 in this case, following a class. Unless it is object-oriented programming where we have to define the instance variable, you will directly start with a method and the method will be here public void. We can say static so that we can directly do it. Public void linear search. Okay. So again, here they have specified the size of the array and hence we cannot take them as parameters to the method because in that case, we cannot fix the size. Instead, we will declare them as local variables and accept the input from the user using a scan. Okay. So here is where we will write the method. Now, before we move on, let me just explain the concept of corresponding arrays or parallel arrays when we have two arrays. So first array is going to be the name of 10 cities. So we can call them names. Okay, so we will define them as, they'll be string names, okay, is equal to new string 10 in this case, right? And assume, okay, that the user enters for these 10 strings. For now, we'll just take 4, our 4 metropolitan: Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, and Kolkata. Okay, that these are the input. The user will enter 10. I'm just taking 4 for an example. Corresponding array means the user has to enter the STD codes in this order only. So the Mumbai STD code is 022, okay, which they are saying has to be entered in an integer. So it will be 22. Delhi's STD code is 11, Chennai is 44, and Kolkata is 33. Okay, so there is a one-to-one correspondence. If I find Delhi in this first array, okay, then the STD code also, Delhi is at index 1. I will read index 1 from here and say the STD code is 11. So both the arrays have to be arranged in the same order. Okay, and we will rely here on the user on entering the arrays in the same order. Fine, so let's start. First is making the scanner class object system.in. Now in this case, we have to define two arrays. The first array is of string. So string names square bracket to indicate it is an array is equal to new string square bracket 10. Size is always right. So size is specified on the right hand side. Second array is another single dimensional integer array they have given. So we'll call it int. We'll give it the name std. Square bracket is equal to new int 10 this time. Okay, we have to accept the array elements. Fine. So we can do it using two loops. We can have one loop. You can decide whatever, but we'll just try it using, okay, two loops. So first we'll accept all the names. So we will say int I is 0, I less than names dot length, okay, I plus plus. And here we will say name square bracket I is equal to sc dot next. Fine. Anytime we want to take input from the user, it is always better to give a prompt. So we will say, first one is enter city names. Fine. Next thing is we want to system.out.println enter std codes. So again a loop for int I is 0, I less than std.length I plus plus, and we will say std of I equals sc.next int. Basic things, just remember, am I accepting a number? Use next int. Am I accepting a word? Use next. Am I accepting a sentence? Use next line. Okay. Now we have to also accept what? The name of the city. Okay. So accept the search city name. Fine. This is what we have to accept. Now this is only one. So we will just say string city will be a string. So string target equals to sc dot next. Again, give a prompt. Enter search city. Fine. So major chunk of the program is input. Now we have to do the processing. We have to find the element. We have to find the city. And we need to know its position because we have to find that same position in the second array. So if I find Chennai, I need to know that Chennai is at index 0, 1, 2. And then I can read in the second array position 2. Okay. So how will we do here? So first again, int. In any linear search program, you write int index is -1. That is right now you have not found the element that you're looking for. To linear search, start from the beginning of the array, go till the end of the array, increment by 1 every time, okay, and then check if names square bracket I dot string comparison again dot equals the target, whatever the user is searching for, then we say index equals I and we will break from the loop. Okay, a break from the loop will take you to the bracket of the loop, the ending bracket here, and take you out. Okay. Now the same linear search logic applies if the index is equal to -1 after the loop has finished or we have come out of the loop, then that means, okay, it means we did not find the element. So here we can just write system.out.println search unsuccessful. Fine. Else, index is not -1. That means we found the element, okay, at some position. So we found the city name and hence we have to print the name of the city along with the STT code. We have to display search successful. So we write else, we say system.out.println, we say search successful. Okay. We also print the city name, system.out.println city with the variable target. What were we searching for? Target city plus its STD code will be what? From the second array, from the STD array at this index where we found the city. Same index we have to read from the second array now. This is the different part in this program. So you search in one array, find the index, use that index in the second array and output that. Okay, and this is what we will print else and then close the method and then close the program, and that completes program 3. Errors found in the class. Okay, I forgot the. Okay, that is the end of the code and that will be the end of the method and the end of the class. Let us compile the class and check class compiled without any problem. So we have to enter 10 city names. And now we have to enter 10 STD codes. So those are. And now we want to find the search city. So let us enter Pune as our search city, which is at index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the output code should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is 20. So we say, okay, city Pune STD code is 20. And that completes this session. Okay. Hope you like the video. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments below. And there will be a follow-up video on binary search.